Hi guys, today we're quickly going to have a look at body mass index or BMI. So you will do this in grade 11 and 12, and to just have a brief look at what we need to know. First of all, you need to be able to calculate a person's BMI using given information. You need to be able to determine their weight status, and then you also need to be able to use the BMI to analyze the person's health and to interpret growth charts. So, when we look at what we can link this to or what this can be incorporated into, the first thing would be data handling, so where they gather information about males and females separately or maybe all together, and we have to now start interpreting this. It can be incorporated into measurement because we'll need to find the weight and the height of the person, and it can also be incorporated into conversions. So, if we just briefly have a look at how to do the calculations. So on your left, you'll see the formula. BMI is equal to your weight in kilograms over your height in meters squared. So that's one of the first things that we need to remember, that your height will need to be in meters. So in certain cases, they can give you the height in centimeters. We can't use centimeters, but we know that we can convert from centimeters to meters. So, if we start looking at how to practically use the formula, then we'll have a look at some examples. So, the first example that we have, calculate the BMI of a person that is 1,64 meters tall and weighs 60 kilograms. So, therefore, we'll work out the person's BMI. They weigh 60 kilograms, so the 60 kilograms will go on top, and then they are 1,64 meters tall. But remember, we need to take the person's height in meters and we need to square that value. So if we take our calculator quickly, we can take 60 divided by 1.64 squared. You can obviously also on this calculator do it as a fraction, and that in this case gives me 22,308, so that will be 22,31. So technically the unit for your body mass index will be kilograms per meter squared. So if we look at our second example that we have, now you have to see that already in here we have the first thing that I warned you about. It says the person is 175 centimeters tall. Now remember, we need to be able to convert the 175 centimeters to meters. So we divide that by 100 and we get 1,75 meters. Now we can use the person's height, and that will go at the bottom. And remember to square it. And then we also need to put their weight over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just quickly going to show you, if we were going to do this with a calculator that's maybe not scientific, we would have 65 divided by, then you can open a bracket, 1.75 times 1.75. And we can close the bracket. So you'll get the same answer if you do it as a fraction on a Casio, or if you do any of the other methods I showed you. So what we get here is 21,22. Now, at this point in time, we have calculated the BMI of person 1 and we have calculated the BMI of person 2. But as this stands, it doesn't really mean much to us. So when we start looking at how to actually interpret these values, here you'll see now it gives us a BMI value and it gives us a meaning. So if we look at the first person, for instance, they had a BMI of 22,31. And if we look on our table, this means that they will fall between 18,6 and 24,9. So that means person 1 can be classified as being healthy. And the same goes for person 2. If we look at person 2, they have a BMI of 21,22, which means they also fall in the healthy category. So what we need to remember in terms of this is that you cannot do these readings of the BMI chart without actually knowing the BMI. So we first calculated the BMI and then we looked at interpreting their BMI. So if we look at the next thing, I'm just going to minimize this a little bit. Here's another example of a BMI chart. So what we need to remember in here is we have the same type of information, but now we need to be able to read from this graph. So here you can see they give you the BMI value, here they give you the person's height, and here they give you the person's body weight. So if we do an example of this just quickly, you will see that if I say a person is 1,55 meters tall, we go find their height, that will be over here, and I'm telling you they weigh 53 kilograms. So we are going to find the 1,55. Let me just get, we are going to find the 155 centimeters, and we are going to find the 53 kilograms. And that gives us a BMI value of 22. So if we take that BMI value and we look in our BMI interpretation table, we'll see that should also be a normal BMI. Now, if we look at the next thing, we can also now use this table in reverse. So how can we determine how tall someone is with a BMI of 25? So now we go to a BMI of 25 and it says they weigh 64 kilograms. So for a BMI of 25, we look for 64 kilograms and we get a height of 1.6 meters or 160 centimeters. Now, if we look at a BMI graph, here you can see this gives you your weight status, and that is based on your BMI or your body mass index. So here you can just see the different categories again. You can be underweight if your BMI is less than 18.5. Your BMI can be normal, overweight, or obese. So here you'll see we have height and here we have weight. So I've done a few examples for you just to make sure that you understand how to read from this. So if we have someone who weighs 65 kilograms and they are 170 centimeters tall or 1.7 meters in height, if we read off here, it shows you that they will have a normal BMI. In this case, it's quite difficult for me to get a specific BMI. We just know it's between 18,5 and 25. However, you can see it's closer to the 25 part of this range, so therefore it should be higher than 18.5 and closer to 25. If we want to look at another way of looking at this, we can also say if a person is 1.8 meters tall or 180 centimeters, what would be their possible weight range for them to fall in the normal BMI category? And if we look here, for that specific height, the normal category starts at 60 kilograms. And for that specific height, the normal category will end at 80 kilograms. So therefore, it would mean the person can weigh anything between 60 and 80 kilograms if they are 1.8 meters tall to fall in the normal BMI category. You can now try the worksheet. I really hope that this helps and that you will be able to answer questions on BMI.